when President Trump found out that he got tricked and fooled, he still decided not to come forward to his American people, American supporters, what really happened. To tell what really happened to him in that Singapore summit. Then South Korean President Moon Jae-in quickly seized on the fact that President Trump could not stand before his own American people and honestly admit that he just realized he was tricked and fooled in the Singapore summit by Crafty Moon Jae-in and evil Kim Jong-un, and he had no other choice but to walk away as a sole loser, after signing the summit agreement certificate. Because President Trump was too proud of himself and his negotiating for good deals, his skills in negotiating for good deals. He was just too proud of himself and his own skills. And he was betting everything he could find on the U.S. North Korea denuclearization talks. Moon Jae-in knew this. He knew President Trump had nothing else but this as the only feasible means to guarantee himself a sure re-election victory in 2020. The crafty and evil anti-US president of South Korea, Moon Jae-in, knew President Trump wanted to show his American public that he has accomplished something so great out of the Singapore summit that he deserved his re-election victory in 2020. President Moon Jae-in of South Korea quickly sensed and recognized that President Trump knew he had to somehow salvage something out of the Singapore summit, which seemed grandeur and successful, but totally failed Singapore summit. And to come up with some magical ways to show his supporters in the US at least some minimum number of fruits. His artful deal-making skills he thought he used masterfully in the Singapore summit comedy show, so that they would continue supporting him and will re-elect him in the 2020 election. So the crafty and evil Moon Jae-in, he was not a fool. He sensed it right away when President Trump looked desperate, looking for a way to sell himself as a winner out of the Singapore summit. But just fabricating and fabricating something out of the failed summit would be only way, only thing that he could sell to his American supporter. That's how President Moon Jae-in of South Korea hooked and put shackle on the President Trump, both psychologically and mentally, choking him. I mean, he started to choke him, right at the right time, right at the perfect time. After President Trump refused to come forward honestly before his American audience, American people, to confess what he realized after the summit, that he was totally fooled and tricked. And he signed the summit agreement certificate blindfoldedly. After that happened, the whole U.S.-North Korea denuclearization summit talks took a major detour away from what it's supposed to be, and quickly became nothing more than a hilarious comedy show, pre-script and run by the crafty and evil president of South Korea, Moon Jae-in, who has been pulling all the strings attached to President Trump's tongue, and just about all the organs in his body, including his brain and his heart, that was desperately looking for a still available means to mend the damage that he suffered in the Singapore summit. When President Trump was tweeting out those arcane and provocative words of insults, calling Kim Jong-un of North Korea little rocket man and madman, he was not running a show. He was not running a comedy show prescribed by Moon Jae-in. When President Trump canceled a meeting with Kim Jong-un in early June of last year, 2018, he was not running a comedy show prescribed by crafty Moon Jae-in of South Korea and putting up a fake face, looking totally infuriated and upset by Kim Jong-un. That he showed on U.S. media's cameras and TV screens. When President Trump went to Singapore summit to sit down with Kim Jong-un while being deceived and tricked and fooled by both Kim Jong-un and Moon Jae-in, he was still not running a comedy show. Still not. He was still an honest man, a great deal maker, and my proud president of the United States of America. But when he began to render himself and his mind to continue to be held hostage by the crafty and evil president of South Korea, Moon Jae-in, in order to hold on to his overdreamed 2020 election fantasy, his person began to slowly fade away from my heart as my proud president. Okay, we reached 34 minutes, slightly over 34-minute mark, so I want to stop here and then resume later in segment number 3. Thank you. We'll be back soon.